Jeremy, yours. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, okay. Hello, I'm Roger Galloway. I'm the Mojave County Communications Director, and we're doing a little bit of a wrap-up of our December 4th, 2023 Board of Supervisors meeting, which just happens to be the last one for 2023. And with us right now is Chairman of the Board, Travis Lingenfelter. And, sir, I guess one of the things we want to talk about in relationship to today's meeting is the item number 30 on the agenda, which dealt with the contract with Runbeck Election Services for the printing and the mailing of the election materials. How did that turn out, and are you satisfied with it?
Yeah, I think that was a good item. I was the one that actually pulled that. So just to give everybody that's watching a little bit of a background, for many years, Mojave County has, for the printing of and the mailing of our election ballots and things like this, we've gone and used a cooperative contract that was procured competitively by Pinal County. So I guess that option is no longer going to be available to Mojave County. The Pinal County has opted not to renew that contract. I'm not sure what direction they're going to be going, whether they're going to be resoliciting a new competitive contract or what they're going to be doing down there. But that really opens an opportunity for Mojave County to go out with our own competitively solicited contract for the printing of ballots. And we can also insert language to make that contract a cooperative contract, so other public agencies would be able to in the future use Mojave County's contract for those services on a cooperative basis. I think that that's a great opportunity for Mojave County. So what we approved today was to use what was the contract, Pinal's contract for the presidential preference election in March, but staff is going to bring us back a plan to go out and competitively source
For the primary and the general?
For the primary and the general. In addition, I think it's worthy of noting that we had some discussion with both Recorder Lydia Durst and Elections Director Alan Tempert, talk about some security measures that Mojave County, being 100% responsible for the printing of our ballots in our county, some of those things that we can perhaps incorporate into our own ballots and our, whether it be some sort of a tab that's perforated on the top that a voter could take and track their ballot, something that wouldn't identify exactly who that person was, because I know that there's some security concerns with the identity of voters and things like this, but some sort of increased measures, whether it be watermarks that we add to our ballots or identifiers, things like this. Staff is also going to be looking into those, and hopefully we can be a state leader and have a contract that a lot of cooperative agency, or on a cooperative basis, that a lot of agencies use in the future, Mojave County's contract for those. I think that's a good opportunity for us.
Yeah, it's so many different facets and aspects of the elections coming up in 2024 that we're all going to be looking at very closely.
Absolutely, we are.
For sure.
Yes.
Probably the biggest issue that the county has had to deal with, and the state of Arizona, and frankly much of the country as well, is the issue of water. Water is so vitally important, of course, and the necessities of it and looking at it more closely have become even more apparent this past year. You've been involved in it a great deal. Can you give us kind of an update?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been actually very fortunate to be involved for very heavily, even before I was elected to the District 1 Supervisor's position as Vice Mayor with Kingman, but over the last 3 years with the County Board, I've taken first chair and taken the lead on all of our Mojave County water issues with the support of our board. Our board is a leader. Mojave County is a leader in the rural groundwater issue and also on the Colorado River water issues that we're seeing. So we're sort of involved in some pretty big things on both of those issues. So the Governor's Water Policy Council just wrapped up their recommendations. They had 2 subcommittees. The first subcommittee was called the Assured Water Supply Subcommittee, and that was really to try to plug some holes and some end arounds that were occurring within the active management areas. The other subcommittee was the Rural Groundwater Subcommittee. Jamie Kelly, attorney for our Mojave County Water Authority. I represent Mojave County on the Mojave County Water Authority, but I was her alternate, so I participated in a few of the meetings down in Phoenix as well. So Jamie Kelly and we were involved in the Rural Groundwater Subcommittee for the Groundwater Policy, statewide Policy Council. So with those recommendations were just submitted by Tom Bashansky, the director of ADWR, Arizona Department of Water Resources, to the governor's office. And I know that in past years, past legislative sessions, Mojave County's own representatives, Representative Cobb, Representative Leo Biasucci, Senator Sonny Borelli, have all introduced legislation on this issue of rural groundwater. They've also introduced some sort of protective measures, a temporary moratorium on future Colorado River transfers until the water levels come back up and we get out of this tier 2, tier 1 situation. So this year, I think that we may see some legislation come out of Mojave County on the groundwater that incorporate the recommendations that the Policy Council provided. But I also know that from Buckeye, Senator Cindy Kerr is going to be submitting some legislation as well. She's reached out to my office at District 1 and invited me down to review that legislation on the 18th of December. So I'm going to go down and meet with her, and hopefully we can come up with a legislative package that everybody can live with. As those that have been following that Water Policy Council know, both the Arizona Farm Bureau and Senator Cindy Kerr excused themselves about 3/4 of the way through that 6-month process of coming up with recommendations. So there's going to be a couple of points that we need to really continue to work through. Who would sit on some sort of a board within a management area, a rural groundwater management area. And what that really is it's an acknowledgement that the two tools that we have under state law right now are not the best tools for the rural areas, right? The AMA, the Active Management Area tool, is really it's inflexible. It should not be a cookie cutter, one size fits all type of a solution for our rural areas, because our rural areas and our rural economies are so diverse. So we're really looking for a third new option, a management framework that's really customized to rural, that provides far more local input in partnership with Arizona Department of Water Resources, and this ability to come in and just do some common sense management for a groundwater basin in rural that has been determined to be at risk, making sure that we have sustainable water supplies in that basin in the future. Because in a lot of the rural basins now, we have six are the worst, but down Wilcox Basin, for instance, they have modeled, there's about 100,000 acre-foot of groundwater coming out of the Wilcox Basin every year that's not being replenished. So when you don't have any sort of a framework within rural Arizona, you have to have certainty in your water planning. That's what I tell people. If you don't remember anything else, under the AMAs, even though it's not a perfect tool, within those areas, they have some sort of level of certainty in their water planning for all of the commercial, industrial, residential, agriculture. Out in the rural areas, it's still kind of like the wild, wild west. We don't have that management framework that provides any sort of level of certainty in our long-term water planning. And you talk to any water manager, any water planner out there with a water company or a municipal utility, the one thing that they'll tell you is that we have to have some sort of certainty in our long-term water planning. Otherwise, all of that development that's going to come in the future is just built on nothing but eggshells. So we're just trying to protect everybody's investment, secure some sort of a new optional, more adaptable third tool to manage our groundwater basins that are becoming at risk. It's an optional tool. There would be a sunset provision where every 5 or 10 years it would be re-reviewed to see if it needs to continue. But there's a lot of good things in there, some best practices that we hope makes it into legislation and then gets signed into the law this next year. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. I know I've spoken a lot about that, but I do want to mention the activities that Mojave County we're still taking on the Colorado River. We have a lot of people, a lot of communities that are reliant solely 100% upon the Colorado River. We are still in active litigation against the Bureau of Reclamation. We're fighting the Bureau of Reclamation's green light of the Greenstone to Queen Creek, fourth priority water transfer. That's precedent setting. They did not fully comply with NEPA or the Administrative Procedures Act, and basically what Mojave County and our co-plaintiffs, who are Yavapai County, La Paz County, and City of Yuma, what we are asking the federal court to grant us is forcing the BOR, the Bureau of Reclamation, to go through a full-blown environmental impact statement process to look at all of the cumulative long-term impacts to both the human environment and the natural environment. This is precedent setting. If this model of taking water and transferring water and really transferring wealth away from our Colorado River communities down to central Arizona, we can't allow that to stand. We can't allow that to be established. So we're going to fight that at all costs, and that is still ongoing.
Wow. Just so much more critical work, action, decisions still have to be made. It's going to be a busy year for you in that issue alone in 2024.
Absolutely. Well, we're up to the challenge. There's nothing greater. Everything that we do here in Mojave County and along the river or in the rural areas that are 100% dependent upon our groundwater basins, everything that we do is dependent upon a safe and sustainable water supply. So we're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that our residents and our businesses are protected.
All right. Thank you, sir. Chairman Linkenfelder, and on behalf of both of us, we want to wish you all the best during the holidays. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Very good. I wanted to mention to you,